it's me Chiku from Chiku Study Corner. Today we'll be dealing with the part 2 of chapter 4. That is moving charges and magnets. So let's see. In the previous session, what did we deal with? We dealt with what is Biot-Savart's law. We also dealt with many points that comes under magnetism. We discussed what is magnetism, what's a magnetic field, the units, etc. So now let's see some of the applications, some equations for the applications of Biot-Savart's law. So let's see. Applications. Before watching part 2, if you haven't watched part 1, make sure you watch it and then continue watching. So, the first application is magnetic field. At the center of a circular current carrying loop. So, let's write the equation. What is that we are finding? Magnetic field. So, B is equal to, what did we learn for that? We learned B is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi I d L sine theta divided by r square. Isn't this our equation? So, over here we are writing the equation down. So, the equation is mu 0 I divided by what? 2r. That is the equation for what? The magnetic field at the center. The second application, that is what is the next one that we are going to learn. So we'll write this equation. Small b is equal to mu 0 I divided by 2r. And that is in a box. So the first application. The second application is the magnetic field at the center of a semicircular loop. So let's see that. Okay, let's take the condition if there is n number of circular loops. That is, if it is like this. If it is like this, what happens? Then this would be multiplied into n. So what would the equation become? Mu 0 Ni divided by 2 pi r. Okay? Ni. This is for n number of turns. I forgot to mention that is it. So let's see the equation for this. So the equation is our magnetic field is B. B is equal to mu 0 I divided by 4r. Why is 4r? Because it is half 1 by 2. So that becomes this equation into half. Okay. That is what is this equation. So if there is n number of loop, what happens? This becomes mu 0 Ni divided by 4 pi. If this is like this. Maybe. Yeah. So this is the equation. And we have one more application. So let's see that application. So that is magnetic field at the center of what? Of a current carrying loop which is circular in shape. And what else? I'm wrapping this point also. Which makes or which subtends an angle theta. Okay. So let's write the equation. So what is that? This is also inside a circular current carrying conductor. But what happens? It makes an angle theta. Magnetic field makes an angle theta in the center. So let's see. The equation is what is that? B is equal to mu 0 divided by 4 pi into I theta divided by R. Okay, so this is our equations. These are the applications that we have to learn in this chapter. So what was the first one? That was in the case of a circular loop. What was the equation? B is equal to mu 0 I divided by R. Sorry, 2R. And what is that for a semicircle? Or a semicircular loop had the equation mu 0 I divided by 4R. When there is n number of turns, what happens? Mu 0 ni by 2R and mu 0 ni by 4R. These are the equations for circular loop, and this over here, this situation is also a circular current carrying loop where it makes an angle theta. What the magnetic field subtends an angle theta at the center, and therefore the equation is mu 0 divided by 4 pi I theta divided by R. I hope this is clear to you. So now let's see Ampere's circuital law. We discussed about Biot-Savart's law and its applications. Actually, there are two more applications that we'll be discussing later. So let's see the Biot-Savart's law. Sorry, no, the Ampere's circuital law. Ampere's circuital law. So let's write the statement first. So the first one, it is the line integral of the magnetic field around any closed path is taken, that too not any path, there is a condition, that is in vacuum. Okay, what happened is taken as equal to what? The equal to mu 0 times of the total current flowing through the circuit, flowing through circuit. So this is our statement. So what is a statement? The Ampere circuital law is what it is. What the law which says that the magnetic field of a closed circle or closed path in vacuum is taken as mu 0 times the total current through it. That is, we'll write the equation. What is that? The line integral of magnetic field. So line integral of magnetic field is B dot dl is equal to what? That is, it is equal to what? Mu 0 times of the total current in the closed circuit. So that is mu 0 into I. What is this path? This path is an enclosed path. It's a closed circuit. So we'll write mu 0 I enclosed. So this is the Ampere circuital law equation. I hope this equation is clear to you. So let's state this once more and learn the Ampere circuital law. The Ampere circuital law is very simple. It states that the line integral of magnetic field is equal to mu 0. It's equal to when only in vacuum, okay? It's equal to mu 0 times the total current flowing through this closed circuit. The equation is integral, that is line integral B dot dl is equal to what? Mu 0 I enclosed. So this is the Ampere circuital law. Now let's see the applications of Ampere circuital law. So let's see that. Ampere circuital law applications. So, applications. The first application that we have to learn is the magnetic field magnitude of a straight via using Ampere's circuit law. So this is the first application, and the equation for this application is B is equal to mu 0 I divided by 2R. Actually, this equation is also an application of what? It's an application for our Biot-Savart's law. So in the case of Biot-Savart's law, what was this? This equation came where there was, it is at a distance r, okay? So let's write this. Image for this application would be like this, okay? But in the previous case for Biot-Savart's law, what was that? That was the at a point P from a straight current carrying conductor. For that was also an application of Biot-Savart's law. For that also the equation was like this, but we wrote it as B is equal to mu 0 2I divided by 4 pi r. This was our equation. Sorry, there was no 4. There is a pi, okay, not 2r, it's 2 pi r. 2 pi r, and over here it's 4 pi r. So this is our equation in the case of what? When we took that for our Biot-Savart's law. So if you cancel this out, you will get the same equation. Am I right? So this is the first application. So the second application that we have to learn is the second application is magnetic field. The magnitude of magnetic field for a straight solenoid. So over here we have two cases. So the case one is any point inside the solenoid, at any point inside the solenoid. Any point inside. Okay? So we'll write the equation. What is that? We have to find B. So B is equal to mu 0 n I. What is n? The number of turns per unit area. So that is n is equal to n divided by A. Okay? So this is the equation. Now this is the second one I told you. So let's write the second one. This is the same thing, okay? I'll put a star for both of them. So star B is for any point at the ends of the solenoid. So the equation is B is equal to half mu 0 n I. Okay, this is the two equations for what? For a straight solenoid. And the last application that comes under the Ampere's circuit law is for a toroidal solenoid. Okay, so let's see. That is the magnitude of magnetic field for a toroidal solenoid. So next is toroidal solenoid. So we know solenoid is like this. We dealt with this in our lower class, no? Solenoid would look like this. What is a toroidal solenoid? That would something that is, let's draw. So this is our toroidal solenoid. Okay? So this is how it will look like. So let's write the equation for this. Let's write. So this is the magnetic field itself. So over here also we have two cases. First one, it is inside the toroidal solenoid actually. So the equation we'll write. That is B is equal to mu 0 n I. That is all. This is the first one. Second one, it is at the ends or at the space outside. Okay, let's write the space. The space in the, not outside, sorry, in the inside, inner portion. That is, we draw it to be in this shape. No? So this space inside, we had it like this. So this space inside, what is the magnetic field? So in the space inside inside, what is that? There is no magnetic field. Okay, so how would you write that over here? What is this? B is equal to 0. So, what were the three applications that we learned for a straight current carrying conductor that is similar to that of our Biot-Savart's law equation, where there was a straight current carrying conductor with a point P at the exterior. The second one was for a solenoid. For a solenoid, we had two of the cases. First one was inside a point, then it was the ends. So for inside, how did we write the equation? What? Mu 0 and I was our equation. So that is our equation for what? For a magnetic field intensity or magnitude of magnetic field inside a solenoid, and in the exterior, what was that? Half into mu 0 and I. Okay. And for a toroidal solenoid, what is that? B is equal to mu 0 and I inside the toroidal solenoid. And for the space inside that is for this space, what is it? It is 0. For this space, it's 0. Okay? That is all to talk about the applications of Ampere's circuital law. So the next one that we have to learn is the Lorentz force. So let's see what's Lorentz force. So, we learned about two forces in the previous classes. What was that? One was magnetic force, the other one was electric force. So, let's see what all are them. And then we can learn about the Lorentz force in detail. So, let's see. Lorentz force. Isn't it an interesting name? I'm sorry. We learned about the force, the electrical force. What was that? 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Am I right? And what is our magnetic force? This is Fe and this is Fb. What is that? Mu 0 divided by 4 pi into IDL sine theta divided by R square. So, what is this? This is the force experienced by an electron or a particle that is in an electric field, whereas this is the force experienced by a particle in magnetic field. So, the sum of these two, or when a particle is in both in electric and magnetic field, it will experience both these forces. So, the sum of these forces or these forces add up to form the Lorentz force. So, we will represent the Lorentz force. So, let's see. The Lorentz force, we will write it as F dash. Lorentz force is equal to Fe plus Fb. So, what is that? We have to take 1 by 4 pi outside, and then what would come inside? Over here, the first equation, what was that? That was 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. So, in the base, it is epsilon 0, mu 0, and then what? This is a plus. So, what would you do? So, you take 1 by 4 pi outside common. So, that is 1 by epsilon 0. What is the rest of it? Q1, Q2 divided by R square. By the way, isn't R square also common? So, let's remove this also. So, this is 1 by 4 pi R square, that is equal to Q1, Q2 divided by epsilon 0 plus. For the other one, we had IDL sine theta, mu 0. So, it's mu 0 IDL sine theta. So, this is our equation for Lorentz force. So, this is the Lorentz force. So, what is Lorentz force? The definition of Lorentz force is the force experienced by a particle which is both in electrical and magnetic field. So, I told you what produces electric field and magnetic field. A moving charge is a source of both electric and magnetic fields. So, we've learned about Lorentz force, electric force and magnetic force. We have a lot more to learn. There is the toroid, we have cyclotron, etc. From this chapter, we don't have cyclotron for the upcoming board exam. That is for the board exam that is coming. 2021 batch 12th batch students doesn't have for CBSE, they doesn't have the cyclotron to be learned. So, let's conclude today. This is all for today's session. I hope you might have understood it and liked it. If you have understood it and liked it, please give my video a huge thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you're new to it. And share my videos with your other friends. So see you on the next part of Moving Charges and Magnetism. Till then, bye-bye.